Hey, you. Yeah, you. You right there. Yep, you. Uh-huh. Are you done watching your skibbity toilet brain rot content? What? You should probably go read a book. What? You have no time because you gotta watch all your skibbity brain rot content? Well, fear not, as I, your host for today, Toxic Kaiju TK, have 5 short mangas you can read for this Halloween. Yes, these 5 mangas are really short. You can finish them in about 3 to 4 hours or even less, and then you can go back to watching your brain rot content because who else would be on YouTube this late watching this type of videos. So yeah, for this Halloween, here are top 5 short scary mangas that you can read and hopefully enjoy. Please pop some recommendations for me in the comments, and yeah, enjoy. Okay, now first up on the list is Signal 100. Yes, so I re-picked up Signal 100 actually quite a long time ago. I believe it was about 4 or 5 years ago when I was getting back into manga actually, and it had a very interesting premise because I believe I was going through a death game type of phase at that time. So Signal 100 was kind of death gamey, but not really. So Signal 100 is about this teacher over here. As you can see, he's the headmaster of the school, is really angry at him about his class 2C, where his name is Shimobe Sensei. We're just gonna call him Sensei, okay? And he's shivering from it, and the headmaster is screaming at him, saying that his students' grades are dropping. Everybody is making fun of him. Students are making fun of him. And here is class 2C, and we're introduced to all our victims of the manga, and we're also introduced to our main girl, the Kashimura Rena. We're gonna call her Rena for this review. And yes, a football hits the teacher in the face. That's how much they don't care about the teacher's presence, honestly. And suddenly, the teacher writes on the board that class in the 5th period will be held in the audio visual room and attendance is mandatory. Now the class, the big class bully is like, hold on a minute, what do you mean it's mandatory? I'm not gonna go for your class, ha ha ha. You need to treat us students with respect. And out of the blue, the teacher just gets on his knees and starts begging, even offering to pay each student 10,000 yen for each student that comes to the class. Everybody is in shock. Our main girl is in shock, and he basically mentioned that he's gonna get fired if he doesn't, if things like this continue. And all the students agree and go to his class in the audio visual room. Now, for some odd reason, the teacher is late, and the big bully tells his cronies to go off and go find the teacher. Where suddenly, boom, a loud screech goes through the entire classroom. A bunch of weird visuals go through some of the students' heads, I assume. This is the visuals you see here. Oh my god. It's in the head of our protagonist Rena. And out of the blue, our sensei arrives. He looks a bit creepy, as you can see. They all call him wage slave. Wage slave, how long has you been standing there? And he starts explaining about this thing called post-hypnosis. I'm gonna throw up the thing over here. Yeah, that's what it means. And then one of the bullies, this guy over here, walks up to the sensei, and this happens. Splat, like a watermelon. Our main girl is shocked, and the sensei starts to mustache twirl evil villain monologue that he. Everybody is in shock, and our sensei explains what he just did to all the students, where basically he hypnotized them, planted something in their head essentially, that will automatically force them to do something if something else happens. Hence the whole Signal 100 thing. Immediately, one of Rena's friends starts calling her mom Like, no, please help me. I don't know what's going on. I'm crying, And the teacher announces, oh no, she broke the second signal out of the 100 signals. Telling a person who isn't a classmate what happened to you here. And Rena's friend also bites the dust somehow. I gotta go and see how. Once again, I gotta blur a lot of this on the screen, most probably, because YouTube doesn't like blood. And the sensei mentions that there are 100 signals that can make them kill yourself. And yeah, although very interesting manga though, as the students slowly start to they attempt, unfortunately, through their peers dying or them finding out secrets, because there's a bunch of secrets like left all over the school, basically, on what the signals are and whatnot. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. They all start dropping like flies. And yeah, overall, Signal 100 is not very bad. Again, very short read, only about 20 something chapters. You can finish this in like give and take about 4 hours. So yeah, really good book. Got me back into all the horror manga and reading manga in general stuff, actually. So yeah, that's our number 5. For the next one, we have one of my personal favorites, actually. It's Emerging. So Emerging, I read Emerging. I believe we all can relate to Emerging, actually, as it's very similar to some kind of funny thing that happened in 2020. I'm just gonna yeah, all this stuff over here. It starts off with our protagonist. Okay, she's about to go to school. I think she was cooking or something, and she cut her finger. Oh no, she just puts on a band-aid, and she's like, all right, time to head to school. And at school, as she's walking to school, she's chit-chatting with her friends about her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is like this giant 7 foot tall man who is not very smart, apparently, but he's really, really good at sports. Not knowing that he is the reincarnation of Michael Myers, and he was standing behind them the whole time. He shyly calls out to our protagonist, Misaki, and he's Oshima, the big Oshima. Let's go. And they have a fun time. Our protagonist is really, really happy with enjoying her school life, enjoying her friends, and yeah. Fast forward, we cut to a random office. Clearly, bro is not looking too good, and he's coughing all over the place. He's all bloated, he's all veiny, he's all puffed up, and he doesn't want to lose his job, so he's gone to work. Again, he's coughing all over the place, and then he goes to the bathroom, and we get this lovely visual of just look at that, man. Oh my gosh, all his veins are all popping, all his eyes are bleeding. He's in the mirror wondering what's wrong with himself. And fast forward later, our trio, our protagonist and her friends are at a road crossing right next to our suspicious guy. And then this happens. Yeah, sorry about the censorship. I don't think YouTube will allow me to show any of this, unfortunately. But he falls to the ground and starts water sprinkling, let's put it that way, while convulsing on the floor. Now, Emerging is it's a very 50-50, I think, for you guys. Some of you might like it, some of you might not like it, as the story is a bit roller coaster, up and down all around. But overall, like I said, I read this manga during right after that funny thing that happened in 2020, and it really, really hit me hard, because this could have happened. Okay, this could have happened to us. Imagine this happened, instead of us coughing and sneezing and whatnot. Imagine we just violently collapsed, started convulsing, and started spewing red liquid from our body like a freaking sprinkler. So yeah, that's what. Maybe it was because of the scare at the time. And again, this manga is really, really short. You can get it over with within like 2 hours. It's a very, very easy to follow plot with a lot of even though it's like up and down all around. You'll be like sprung in with the emotions, and some people like that, some people don't like that. But yeah, number 4, Emerging. Okay, moving on to number 3, we have a book or a story from the famous Junji Ito. Of course, we have to include at least one of his works in anything manga horror, let's be real. And I've chosen a underrated one, I think. Um, I've chosen Bully by Junji Ito. Now it starts off with this girl. She's reminiscing about something at a playground, and she's watching a bunch of boys play on the swings, and they start bullying her. They're like, "Hey, Kuriko," they start picking on her, and then they argue back and forth, and suddenly this mom arrives with this little boy, and she asks our protagonist Kuriko, "Hey, are you playing alone?" And it leads to the mom leaving the boy with Kuriko. Terrible mom, by the way. Why would you do that? And the mom gives her a bar of chocolate, I believe. Yeah, it is. And the boys are like, "Oh, give me some chocolate, Kuriko." And then Kuriko's like, "No, because this boy's mom gave it to me because I'm playing with him." So they start they're playing along, and the boy's name is Now, by the way, and by the group of boys, and they start bonding. They start bonding. The boy and the girl, they are having a fun time together, and eventually Now became really attached to Kuriko, and eventually she starts to get really, really annoyed by him when he was extremely, extremely clingy. Like, he would hug her and hold her 24/7. And one day, she just decided to hurt him. She decided to scream in his ear. The boy is shocked. The girl is like, "Oh, I don't know, was that funny?" And the boy is like, "No, not really." And out of the blue, she starts to be really, really mean to him. She starts shouting at him. She starts physically hurting him. She starts pinching him and stuff like that. And she started bullying him so that he will leave her alone. But for some odd reason, he never left her alone. He kept on coming back to her and asking her to play with him, and she kept on going. One day she forced him to drink gutter water, so water in the drain basically, and she starts to freaking waterboard him. And one thing I find really scary about this story is that just look at the faces, man. Oh my gosh. There's no, I'll spoiler, there's no ghost or whatever in this story, but it's just a human being being cruel to another human being. And oh my god, just the way Mr. Junji draws faces, especially of our main girl, right? If you're gonna call her the main girl, it's just really, really horrifying. Like, you saw the cover, that is like, oh my god, imagine seeing that in real life in a person. And it gets worse. Eventually the mom gives her the chocolate, acts like nothing is going on, and she starts to basically torture him even more. Like, she starts to go to him, and it's like, "Listen, we're gonna play, and we're gonna see we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna torture you even more." And she starts to threaten him. She's like, "Did you tell your mom?" "No." "Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna, like, hit you even harder, basically." And this is the magnum opus, basically, of where she throws a ball, I think, into a very, very scary looking dog's pen, and she asks him to go and get it. And I deadass can't show you the rest of the manga because it gets very, very violent. There is a very, very nice story that goes on here. There's a reason why we cut back to Kuriko when she's a grown up reminiscing about the park. Some stuff happens in between. Junji Ito, Bully, underrated. I recommend it. The reason why I think Bully stuck to me this long, it was because, like, I think I read it around, I believe I was maybe Kuriko's age. I think in the story Kuriko is about 11 or 12 or 13, I believe, and I read this manga when I was 11, like 10, 11, 12, 13. So it is really really stuck to me until now. To Bully, recommended, give it a shot. Again, about 1 hour you can get this thing done, no problem. Okay, now moving on to finally number 2 is, I'm gonna, okay, listen boys and girls and everyone else in between, I'm gonna cheat a bit over here. I'm gonna put the entire Go Tanabe's HP Lovecraft spin-off. Yes. Now, if you guys don't know who HP Lovecraft is, well, one, I think you're too young to be here, and two, he's probably one of the best horror writers. He inspired he basically inspired horror, Mr. Lovecraft. And the biggest problem I have with the HP Lovecraft books is that I got brain rot, your Gen Z, let's go. It's all long, big long text, and HP Lovecraft, even until now, here the amount of imagination you need to kind of imagine what HP Lovecraft is writing about is just absolutely insane. But what Go Tanabe does is that he bridges this gap for you. You don't have to imagine much. He shows you in excruciating detail what happens to the characters, what extra dimensional monster they're dealing with and whatnots. So Go Tanabe really does a very very good job depicting Mr. HP Lovecraft stuff. Now, I'm going to recommend, I believe all of it: Call of Cthulhu, Shadow Out of Time, the Outsider, and Mountain of Madness. Everything here I've listed, all 4 mangas I've listed here are only like 10 chapters, 10, 15 chapters. You can read everything within like 2 hours, I believe. So yeah, I'm not gonna put any manga pictures up as well, because the art is amazing. And just go check them out yourself. If you're a horror fan, just go check them out yourself. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, is Go Tanabe's HP Lovecraft spin-off. Like, it is amazing, I tell you. Okay, moving on to the final one. And psych. Before we get into the final pick, I'm actually going to give you guys some honorable mentions. Now, these honorable mentions are here because, well, either they are too long, I don't think they were good enough to make the cut, or they were too short even, or some of them are not even mangas, they are manhwas. If you're into that, they were very very good stuff as well. So first up, Happy Sugar Life, Yandere Big Sister. I feel Yanderes have kind of fell off recently. Happy Sugar Life is a very very good a revival of the Yandere type. I probably will reread Happy Sugar Life actually right after this, because I'm not gonna really spoil it. Also it's quite short. It's about 50 chapters, so yeah, go ahead. Apocalypse no Toride or Toride, Zombie Apocalypse. If you're a zombie fan, this is the manga for you. I think it's I don't think it's the best zombie apocalypse manga out there, but it's quite good. Very interesting premise. Go check it out. Chino Wadachi, Blood on the Tracks is again, if you're a big fan of Signal 100 or Bully, there's really nothing supernatural quote unquote going on in this manga, or maybe, I don't know, and it's more of just humans being terrible humans to other people, and that is the scary part. Faces in this story, scary looking faces in this story, is also amazing. So yeah, go check Blood on the Tracks out. Hakaiju. Hakaju has a bad reputation, but unfortunately, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think you will enjoy Hakaiju, and then you will start to stop enjoying Hakaiju. But I feel the enjoyment part is really really fun. The Horizon, oh my god, okay. The Horizon, it also is about humans being terrible to each other. It's probably gonna make you cry as well. So yeah, we'll go read The Horizon now. It's only like 15 minutes of a read. Very very short story. Go read it right now, even, I dare you. Yeah, amazing story. You'll probably be bawling on the floor once the story is over. Museum, serial killer. They are chasing a serial killer. This guy in a frog mask, this guy you see on the cover, he's a serial killer, and there's detectives trying to hunt him down. Again, very good, very nice. Crime, horror, gruesome murders, we like that stuff. Good Night Poon Poon. Again, this falls under the category of if you guys, I think some of you probably know Good Night Pun Pun, and you guys will probably agree that this is the scariest manga in this entire list. Probably, let's be real. But if you don't know what Oyasumi Pun Pun is, go read it. I don't want to spoil it. Just go read Oyasumi Pun Pun, and sorry for the trauma that I'm about to cause. Pumpkin Night. Pumpkin Night is your slasher. Your long story short, a bunch of people did wrong to the girl you see on the cover. I might have to censor a lot of this cover. Good lord. And yeah, basically it's a slasher. If you like your Jason Voorhees, your Freddy Krueger, your slasher, murder, crazy killing type of stuff, Pumpkin Night is for you. Sweet Home Manhwa, sorry. Again, very good story, very scary visuals. I think a Netflix adaptation came out recently. Just go read the manhwa. The manhwa is really good. And finally, another sleeper pick for me is Takopi no Genza. Yeah, there we go. Basically, this it's about this little octopus guy who wants to help out this little protagonist you see on the screen, and a lot of very bad stuff happen. Honestly, again, Takopi, go in blind. Just go in blind and get scared to death. So yeah, these are my quick fire honorable mentions, and yeah. And Double Psych. One more recommendation I have to you is House of Leaves by Mark C. Danielewski. Again, House of Leaves, amazing book. How do I explain House of Leaves? House of Leaves, it has a very like back rooms, I guess, type of situation where the whole premise of House of Leaves is basically imagine one day you go home, right? You go to you go to your living room, and suddenly there's just a whole new door leading to a whole new room, and your parents don't seem to know, your pet dog doesn't seem to know, and you're just like, why is there a random, whole new room in my hall for no apparent reason, or in my house for no apparent reason? So yeah, another reason why I love this book is that the reason why I actually read this book is because of a very small tidbit. This book is not e-bookable, so a voice cannot read this book to you for very good reasons. It's not violent. It's not like, someone's, they describe the plot of Serbian film to you out loud. It's not because of that. It's low-key because of how weird and jarring the book is, right? The book actually cannot be read to you. You need to read the book yourself in order to experience it. So yeah, the only downside about the House of Leaves is, well, it's a book. It's a giant thick ass book, so you have to read through all the pages bit by bit. There is so many footnotes above footnotes, plot twist over plot twist. But if you're into novels and you're willing to go through if you're willing to read something very long, or you want something different for this Halloween, this is the book for you. House of Leaves, a total recommend. Okay, now to the number one. no more plot twist this time. Okay, now the final manga that I want to talk about, and I personally think it's the best short horror manga that is there to exist, is Hideout. Now you see, Hideout starts out with this couple, Seiji and his wife hanging out on the beach. They appear to be struggling with something, and the husband says that he's willing to start from zero. And then they are driving, they're driving somewhere. It's raining really heavily, and apparently the couple seem to be lost. The husband starts monologuing about how this beach was once upon a time a place where war was fought. So many people died on this beach, and it's a very special place. And the wife, she's angry. Obviously, she mentions that, oh, it's all your fault. You're lost. Everything is your fault. This marriage is horrible. And then she lets a little plot twist that, he caused their son to die, apparently. And the husband was rethinking something in his head, and he finally snapped. Eventually, he parks his car and he goes, oh no, we need to walk the rest of the way. And the husband, picks up a funny looking object, a spanner. And then we get this scene. Now, I don't want to spoil, Hideout. It's a very, very good, very, very scary story. It has so many good things put into one story, whether it's body horror story, and you want to see what happened, between this husband and wife, and how did they end up in this position, you see. And yeah, look at the art. The art is just gorgeous. And yeah, Hideout, the last manga, go check it out. Amazing read. 10 out of 10. So yeah, and that is all for today. Thank you for stopping by again. Really, really appreciate the like and subscribe that that you can give the channel again. TK, just a lad, wee lad, trying to grow his, trying to fulfill his dreams. And yeah, our next episode, we've already filmed it, but I did a collaboration with someone special, so please look forward to that. And yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, and take care. Bye.